Welcome to the Better Two podcast. I'm your host, Donna. Today's guest is the band Leafblower. I have lead singer Danny Maxwell and bassist Craig Fort, and they take us on a journey. Oh, and we also have their mascot, Tim. I must not forget him because, yeah, there's a story there too. So tune in. Hi, Danny. How are you doing today?
Hi, I'm doing great. Thanks so much for having us.
Um, we have a gentleman back there, and I feel you need to explain him a little bit. I understand who he is really, but who is he to you?
Well, this is my buddy Tim. Um, he's the face of our band Leafblower.
And
He's a more or less a mascot, if you will.
I told one of my friends I'm interviewing Leaf Blower, and they're like, "How in the world did they come up with that name?
Um, just you know,
Did you do a lot of
humor
yard
and
work back in the
phonetics
day?"
and yeah, and lifestyle. Yeah, it was play on words and sort of like trying to put I guess a little notch on the sound, but as well as, a little humor and some finesse.
Humor seems to be a big part of your image, dare I say, even with
A
your
little bit,
promotional
yeah.
photo.
Yeah. We have some funny little skits that we do with the Tim mask on and Tim's kind of taken on its own his own little uh yeah, he's kind of the front runner, I'd say. We have a bunch of little skits that we have on TikTok and Instagram and stuff like that. And some of our friends were like, dude, I tune in just every day just to see what Tim's doing, like on my break or something. They'll log in to see. We went like 250 days in a row of doing like a different skit every day. So we're jumping back on the trying to get back on the wheel so we can uh get Tim active again. Because that was a lot of fun doing that.
What made you decide to come up with Tim?
Um, well, it's actually a really funny story. Our drummer Tab um found that mannequin you see in the background
Hmm.
and used it as a prank to scare people. And then Craig found the masks online so that we could match this it's really like a Saint Nick uh mask like that's underneath that mask. Like so it's not really like this old guy that we it's become. It's like the face that's on the demo of our cassette. Um, yeah, the cassette demo. It's that face. So anyways, the masks sort of just like became like the thing we did. So he bought enough for that mannequin and then us. And then we all of a sudden just started wearing them. It became that. But yeah, so it started off as a prank. Then we turned it into let's give this guy a leaf blower and hook a fog machine up to it and have him be on stage with us. And then it just be took on its own thing. Aside from the band and the music. Yeah.
But
So it's
some,
just
go ahead.
we're just having fun with it. And we're just getting creative with any way that we can change up his look. We wore suits for a while, like coveralls. That's why he's wearing coveralls right now. So it's just like it morphs into a whole new category every time.
Well, and you don't expect that with the type of music you play. You don't expect to see somebody coming out in coveralls. You expect
Not
more
always.
of the leather and I mean the theatrics, yes, but the
Yeah, yeah.
leather and the badassery.
Yeah. Um, we on the new record, there's four Tims on the center label, and one of them has assless chaps. And it was an artist who put that together. It wasn't like taken from a picture that we took. But yeah, it's one of our friends drew that for us, and we were trying to figure out who would be the guy that would be wearing those. Yeah.
And did you come up with the answer?
That remains a mystery. We no one will own the chaps, but yeah, if you pick up the new record, you'll be able to see that on the center label. It's pretty funny. Yeah, there's humor throughout even the packaging, you know?
And the other thing that I noticed that when I was doing, research on you guys, it's you want besides the humor, it's like you also wanted to take it to a psychological avenue.
A little bit. Yeah. That became sort of an exercise for me, you know? I felt like in some of the older songs, some of our past songs, I was the songs I was singing about others, you know? And then this time I was like, I'm gonna look internal, you know? Like I'm gonna we're gonna change the viewpoint, you know?
Mhm.
And so just exploring self, you know? Um and that it happened. I didn't like think about it ahead of time. I was like, oh, this is what I'm doing. So then it became that. And I was like, I'm gonna try to do this for all the songs. I just noticed it a couple songs in, you know? So that yeah, that's how that kind of became. You'll notice that it's a lot of I might change the narrator, you know, to twist things up a little bit here and there, but like it's a lot of us looking in on ourselves, and it's me exploring others near to me, um, you know, events, things that are, they're living through. So
But that kind of makes, a songwriter by doing that. Most people, if you're going for deep meaning in your songs, no matter what type of music it is, you have to either look internally or look around you.
yeah, 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 because I mean, where are you gonna get information from, or a standpoint, for, you know, the narrator in the song or whatever viewpoint it's going to take. So yeah, it's very true. I didn't realize it, like I said, until a couple, maybe two or three songs in, and I was like, oh, okay, I see where this is going, so then I started trying to exercise that a little bit. So it's kind of fun. Never done that before. I feel like I'm always complaining about somebody else in my songs. So this time I was taking it on. Yeah.
Full responsibility for your
Yeah,
songs.
yeah, yeah. And then I had to disguise a few things, by changing it up. So, but yeah.
Change the names to protect the innocent.
You know.
So what made you decide to choose this genre of music? I mean, were you always into this type of music, or was it just
That's a good question. That's a really good question. And I've answered this before, and I feel like Tab and Clark and Craig all probably grew up in this school or grew up listening to harder rock probably more than I did. Um, I mean we all listen to punk and hardcore stuff too, but like I grew up, probably listening to anything from like, you know, punk that you can play as fast as you can, all the way to like REM or Miracle Legion or The Replacements, or, just from my older brothers, just hearing that in the house. And so um that was kind of what was happening. And these guys probably grew up listening to um probably harder rock and roll than I did. But choosing this, I don't know how that happened. I think we were in another band together, and I think we just decided to just change up speed a little bit, you know. And I think we all still have a lot of the same instruments and pedals and whatnot. It's just happening differently. And I did a lot of the writing in the last band, and Craig and Tab do a lot of the writing in this band. And that is probably the answer you're looking for. So it's coming, and so with the background context, that's probably where that's coming from. So Craig just started coming up with a bunch of riffs. We recorded them all, and we kept them, and we just kind of cataloged them, and we just kept coming back to them and then trying to write, and then Tab will come with an entire song, like everybody's parts written, and then doesn't force them upon you, but then you think, well, why wouldn't I just play this nice part if it's gonna you know like correspond with the other guitar or whatnot, you know um so it seems like all those parts sort of dance together, so why wouldn't I play that part just how you wrote it? So
true?
we have songs that kind of do both, where we'll all sit there and explore a riff and then branch off of that and then, you know, write our own pieces, you know.
At this point, I would want to say hello to Craig since now we have Craig up there. Hi, Craig. How are you doing?
Oh, I got off work late. How you doing?
Hey, Craig.
Thanks
Good
for
to be
joining
here.
us. And what made you decide to get into this style of music?
It's just kind of I mean, I've always been into heavy, hard driving music, anything that really gets me going, like pumped up. But this band, all the songs that I started out writing are completely different than what we're playing right now. In fact, I don't even like playing some of those songs. I never want to play them again. But it's just kind of been a natural evolved over the last like 9 years. We've just kind of started out as kind of more just a straightforward rock band, punk band, party band, and then it's just kind of evolved into this more like psych dynamic, like all over the place with theatrics and whatnot.
I was talking to Ian Dench from EMF recently, and he was talking about the fact that, and for those who don't know who EMF is, they had the song Unbelievable back in the early 90s. They were this big deal. And he talked about when he, back in the 70s, how he got into music was the fact that he started watching punk bands and he realized, hey, I can pick up a guitar and play really fast, and I don't have to know anything. I can just do this. And yeah, that led to his career. So it's like, that's why I was asking, what kind of calling did this lead to you? And you've kind of explained that. So when did you decide you were going to be a singer, Danny?
I don't know. I think Craig decided I was going to be a singer.
And you decided I was going to be a singer.
So, I mean, you guys didn't, this wasn't something that you've been singing since you were a kid. This was just at this point, you're going to be the singer and you're going to be the singer and we'll do it together.
Yeah, and we've both been the singer in other bands growing up and um yeah, I think we decided that we were just going to do it together at some point, you know what I mean? Like what once and that happened early on, I think. We were
It
doing
was our last band that we were in together.
yeah.
Was mainly singing most of the songs, and then I was no good at singing and playing bass, and so I was nervous to do it. But he just kind of got on me about it and gave me some confidence, and I started singing a little bit here, a little bit there. Then I started singing full songs, and then once that band came to an end, then we were like, well, I got this idea for a band called Leafblower with a weird guy and this and that, and I got a couple songs written, so let's just move in here. And at first, I kind of took over most of the singing, but now it's gone back and forth to where we it's a lot of call and response,
Mhm.
but I think Danny's kind of taken over more of the lead ones.
So, how long have you been playing bass?
Um, uh, I mean, I started playing guitar and bass when I was like 14, and then I kind of took a party abstinence from the playing the music and just partied for a long time. And then I kind of got put back in, just like someone was like, let's start a band. And I was like, okay, tell me what to play and I'll play. And so I just started playing. That was probably about 15 years ago. And then they just told me what to do. And then I just kind of played it by ear after that. And then just started getting confident enough to start writing my own things and exploring different sounds.
Danny, I have to ask, is that your studio behind you? Is that all your equipment? And are you very well versed in all of those instruments?
Yeah, this is where we practice. And then we also have like a little, home studio here. And we recorded, we did additional tracking here. It in the other room, there's like another, there's like a computer in the other
Mm-hmm.
room with
The
the
board.
music gear and
Yeah.
stuff. Yeah. And so we have like a little stage snake here that goes th over this bookcase through the ceiling and then into the other side connects. But yeah, so we can record everything in here. We practice in here. But yeah, there's three of Craig's basses right there.
Nice.
I don't own all this gear. Yeah, there's there behind me, if you can see, there's guitars over there too. But yeah, we're set up, we're ready to plug in and start playing and record, so um
How
yeah, we've
often,
had this set up for, I don't know, uh 6 years maybe or so. So it's kind of nice.
how often do you guys go out and play live?
Oh, I don't know.
Every couple months.
Yeah, probably,
I,
I was gonna
I,
say 3, 4 times a year maybe.
Really,
you still have a day job. So in other words, it's not, you can't necessarily, you don't see yourself going on tour anytime soon.
it would take a lot of finessing.
Yes.
We have
Yeah,
we
yeah.
all have families and full-time jobs and additional things, and it's just it'd take a lot of finessing.
So this is more of a passion project for you guys right now than anything.
I would love to go on tour. I just got to figure out how to do it with the other three guys.
There's always a way.
Well, and I've interviewed different artists and different segments, and it's always like van life. The stories of van life, and not tour bus life, but van life, because you got to put everybody together. And as good as the friendship you have now, how's it going to be living in a van for X number of months?
We both spent our 20s living in a van
Okay.
and sleeping on floors and sleeping on couches, and that would be a hard thing to go back to.
Your
Yeah,
body won't appreciate it either.
yeah, we both spent a decade doing that and sleeping on cigarette butts and stuff. So I'm good for that, that van life anyways. But
Beer soaked
yeah,
carpet.
there's always a way. We can do just regional stuff, you know. But like as far as like what you're saying, like how many times we play a year, it's like in Omaha, tops 3, 4 times. But like, we can get out around some nearby cities, nearby college towns.
Yeah, and that's, and the other thing is you're fortunate now because of the fact that Spotify's there. Unfortunately, I know you don't make money off of it. And same thing with TikTok, but you can build a following. And that's kind of a good thing because if fans like you enough, then they're going to want to buy your record.
Yeah, we do, like you said, from what you're explaining, like everything is operated straight out of the basement. We do everything right out of here.
Hmm.
you know, Record it and then also send it to those platforms from here.
Hmm.
So
all
it's
all of our
smooth
bands
operation.
that we've done before have all been real DIY ethic, and so I think that still kind of sticks with us, and we try and get things done by ourselves as much as we can.
Well, and that's unfortunately that is a lot of what today is. Even if you had, people are like, because I write, and people are like, I want that book deal. Okay, that's great. But if you think a book deal is going to be all that it used to be, it's not because you're still going to do a lot of the work yourself. Maybe they'll pick your cover and you won't have to do that. But the marketing, you're going to be doing it. And so why give them a cut of the money when you have to do it yourself?
Mhm.
So,
Yeah, and social media just doesn't seem to work. Like, you know, posting videos and having 10 friends see it, like you have to start paying for the ads and everything
Got to
like
pay
that.
to play.
hmm.
Yep.
Yeah, social media has evolved into the pay to play thing. It used to be very much organic, and once that
But
algorithm slams you, you're pretty much toast.
it really used to be a great way to like promote shows and promote albums or songs or anything, like that. But it's just gotten the algorithm, I think, is just it's so messed up. I feel like I post things and three people see them, and we've got a couple hundred followers.
I always attribute it to like shouting into the void. It's like you post something and you're waiting for a response, and then you can shout into the void. And the other thing is, I've had videos that have gone, 3,000 or more hits, and then it doesn't translate.
Right.
So social media at times, it's just kind of like, what is the point? And not that
Yeah.
I'm biting the hand that feeds, but it's just one of those things where it's like, you know, how do you get past that? So, what do you plan on? The record's coming out. What do you plan on doing? Are you having a record release party? Are you just gonna release it and that's let's hear some details.
We
Yeah.
got a record release show on June 6th at Reverb Lounge in Omaha, Nebraska. And it's with Dance Me Pregnant and Wagon Blasters. It's going to be a real fun show. We got a lot in mind for theatrics with that. And then a couple weeks later, about a month later, we play in Lincoln at the Bourbon in the front room with Ex Lover and Face,
Okay.
which are both fantastic bands.
So,
So we've got a couple really good shows coming up. We're really pumped about, and we're getting some new shirts printed, and obviously the new album, and
well, I
it's
want
gonna
to, going back to touring real quick, it's like touring is also a very expensive cost to you guys. People don't
be,
talk about that you guys have to spend money in order to get there, and then it's not always a guarantee that you're going to get a return on it.
no,
Um, there's a gentleman I interviewed that actually goes around playing people's living rooms. He has
yeah.
gigs, but he's playing
That's
people's living rooms.
that's a thing that I've seen in Omaha here happen quite a bit
Yeah.
lately. Like just like the frontmen of bands will just go off and do like a solo thing and
Yeah.
just do like a living room show where it's like 20 advance tickets are available and that's it. And it's just real intimate. And it seems like that's a really cool thing. And then everyone gets to hang out and talk with them afterward. And it's just a real intimate, nice little show and way to do things. And I think that's an interesting way to tour. I think that's really cool.
Well, you could always bring Tim.
Yeah, it'd be really hard for us because we're a little loud for living
You're
room show.
Gets a little
well,
foggy.
well, it
It gets
depends. It gets a little foggy, but I mean, if you do like an outdoor summer thing, if somebody's having a barbecue and they have a nice piece of land, it might not be too bad.
yeah.
That's a great idea, actually.
Just saying. If you got some land, you could do your own thing, and
I've got
just
some like
just saying, as long as you don't
Yeah.
have your neighbors too close by, you could pull it off.
That's gonna be our next thing is an outdoor.
I brought it up to Dan already. I wanted to have my front porch be a stage and have people stand in my yard because I've got a perfect spot for that with the railing and everything.
Hmm.
Like, I think it would be really cool to have.
Book it.
Yeah,
Just make sure you get your right permits before you have somebody
Yeah.
knocking at your door. Always got to have permits.
yeah.
So let's
It'll
talk a
be a
little.
block party.
Do what?
It'll be a block party.
Okay, there you go. But just some places still want a permit for that.
Yeah, that's. I'll have to do a block party permit probably, and then probably have to get a couple crappers out there too.
Yes, yes. Of course, there is the meme going around of "Would you take a shit here?" and it's in St. Louis, and it's I don't think it's by the Arch. I'm not sure, but it's way up there. Porta potty on a
Oh,
little, yeah. Mm-mm.
thanks. I
I,
went up in March and I didn't even like that. I hated the elevator going up. I hated the thing wobbling back and forth. I was like 16, but
Hey, every shit is an emergency.
yeah. Uh, I'm from New Orleans originally, and I was on the public bus when I was a kid. I guess I was about maybe 12, and the bus broke. And so we had to transfer to another bus on the bridge. And the
Oh
grate
no.
down there, there's a grate instead of a sidewalk, so you can see the river. And yeah, and cars whizzing by. No, mm-mm,
Oh my gosh.
mm-mm. That was too much. Way
Not
too much.
embarrassing at all.
No. So I want to talk about Burn Cruise. You kind of talk about that this is kind of a chill, letting, kind of escape song.
Yeah.
So what led to who created this song and what made you decide to write it about that?
This was another one of Tab's sort of, I had this idea, and he came up with these parts and um yeah, then we just like kind of fleshed it out or whatever, and then he had some like kind of just like some ideas like vocally like for melody and stuff. And then he just kind of let me run with the vocals or whatnot. And the lyrics too. So that those took a while for me anyways. For me it's like hard to sing to someone else's idea, you know? So I had to like have him help me out a little bit with that. But like, yeah, we just kind of figured it out. But Fort came up with like the topical ideas, the theme and stuff. And then I was like, dude, this really goes along with like what I was thinking when I was writing the lyrics too. So it sort of was like came from two different spaces, but it really kind of hit home with like what I was kind of talking about. It was like kind of like thinking back to things that were bothering me, I guess. I there's like a whole bunch of different things that I've referenced in the song. So there's just like things that were like driving me nuts maybe at the time. And it's just like it's all about just like having like a moment of just like, oh my gosh, it's just a feeling that I'm having right now. You know what I mean? Or if it's
Hmm.
anxiety, whatever it is, reset, come back. You know what I mean? So it's really just kind of like that. And so it's me and Fort kind of going back on just things we've been talking about maybe at the time when I was writing it. I don't know. There's like a bunch of different things I'm referencing in the song. Some things are like
Right.
personal, like about me, and it's like some things have like double layer meaning on it. Like one of the things is like uh I'm trying to think of one of the lines. Like something about I said something about am I pulling this off? Am I really pulling this off? It's like, am I really like accomplishing what I wanted to accomplish? Am I doing things right here? And then also sort of like tearing off the band-aid of like really getting to the truth. So there's like some hidden meaning in there too. But like, yeah, it's Burn Cruise sort of just came from Tab, and then we just sort of molded it into what it is. I don't
Well,
know if I explained everything.
well, I mean, one thing you were kind of alluding to without alluding to is, where do you sometimes deal with imposter syndrome
Um, I guess
when you're creating your music? I mean, you're playing, you've been doing this for a while, so when you're criticizing yourself, is this partially because you're suffering from imposter syndrome?
yeah, I mean that's a good question. I mean there's probably like self-doubt probably a lot. I don't think we worry about like wondering what, or like trying to write to like whatever is like we think people would want to hear. We do it for ourselves, but like um
We're usually just
probably
blowing.
self-doubt. There's probably some self-doubt in there, you know. I don't know. What do you think about that? Or
Uh, it's just most, I mean, for me, I don't think that I have imposter syndrome. I feel like I just lay it all out and that's my release. Like that's how I cope with things. And so I'll just like be very blunt and straightforward and uh in my writing and also a lot of passion with it. And yeah, I don't know.
I think that a lot of people wouldn't expect in a heavier rock band that you would talk about anything too personal and too emotional. I mean, when you're being vulnerable, they're not expecting that.
I
You know, I'm
think that
Go ahead.
I think that a lot of it has like I mean for me at least and I think Dan too, we'll have some songs with some clever hidden meanings and so it kind of masks the real background behind it, but like it's still helping express it and get it out.
And that's important. You have to get it out because otherwise it starts screwing with your mental health.
Yeah,
Yeah,
right.
and
You
we're
gotta
not
you gotta
really
hide
writing.
it in there.
I don't think I don't think when either of us are writing lyrics, I don't think that we're really writing for other people. I think we're writing for ourselves, and just just a way to get through stuff, And so we're not like trying to write a Red Hot Chili Peppers song or something like that. Like we're just getting shit out.
And that's important. I mean, and that's the one thing talking to the older artists that have been in the business for 40 years, they're talking about the fact that they're happy that they can still play music. It doesn't matter about the big hit. It doesn't matter about getting another contract. EMF had a contract. They now do everything like you guys, DIY. Yes, they're on
Mhm.
tour. They're going to be on tour, but they're doing everything themselves now. They don't see a point in doing allowing other people to come in and do what they need to do when they can continue to focus, and they create music because they want to do it themselves, not because they're chasing glory. And I think that comes with any type of creative person. If they can really embrace their creativity, that gives you, I don't care how crappy your job is, I don't care how sucky your life is, if you can find something you're passionate about it, that makes life a little bit better. And sometimes it gives you the spark to keep going.
Agreed.
We practice every Tuesday, and there can be times where all four of us have shit going on in our lives that we're dealing with, and maybe had a crappy day, and we get together and practice. And at the end of it, it's all four of us are like, I'm glad we did that. That felt good. That was like
Yeah,
what I need. That's what I needed. Like that outlet right there. That's what I needed. So I think that that's kind of another thing for us too. Like we'll get together and practice just because we're having a rough day.
Hmm.
yeah. That can be therapeutic. Um, and I guess at our stage in life and our, musical journeys, it's like our style of poker night, you know. I had a local legend in Omaha say that to me one time. He's like, it's our poker night, you know.
Hmm.
So it's kind of funny and it's therapeutic at the same time. And then there's been practices where we show up and then, like Craig said, we're either having a great time or maybe we just need to chat and then we just won't even play and we'll just talk and then we're like, whoa, that was awesome. Like we just had a good time, like didn't even play, you know? Otherwise playing, just really kind of gets you like a kind of a natural high, get the endorphins going.
Kind of go into a different world.
Yeah.
But if you're having that bad day, your playing is going to be off. No matter how much you want, if you're not in that headspace to
Oh,
play, you're
I get
playing.
pissed. I get pissed and I take it out on my bass. And
Yeah.
I that's why I have an aluminum neck bass right now because I've broken my neck like three times.
Yikes.
But I'll just come in and it's just that's my I'll just if I'm really mad, I actually that kind of makes me play better because I'll
Yeah.
be like, that's how I'm getting it out. I'm just taking it out on the bass and playing the notes, and it's like, fuck you, I'm gonna play this right.
It's so heavy.
Oh, I can imagine. I mean, the bass I have, I got a deal on it because the neck was broken, and but it's a wooden neck. It's not. They didn't replace it with a metal one. But that also kind of goes with the mystique of the music you play.
Well, I think it just got to the point where our buddy that's our luthier was just kind of like probably sick of fixing my neck so many times, and
He's fixed all of these
he's
pedals.
just like, maybe you might want to try a metal neck. And he was just kind of joking, and I was like, okay, let's do it, and just hopped on it and ordered it from Germany and had it sent out right away.
Well,
Because honestly, the necks that I was looking at to replace were about the same price, the wooden ones that are like the USA Fenders.
yeah, and I mean, if you're going to replace it, and you know that you have a habit of doing this, it's better to,
Right.
instead of continue to spend the money to constantly replace, it's better to have something that's going to be a permanent fix.
Yeah.
Yep. And he said he was like he's like your son's grandkids will be playing this bass.
I mean, it has to sustain like a piano.
Yeah, you can hit a note and then go out to lunch and come back and it'll still be going.
Wow. And most bass players don't even, that's not a regular occurrence to think that you're going to use that, and it's always the wooden or fretless.
It's
So,
kind of actually helped with the dynamic of the tone that I have and everything like that. I feel like it's got a little more. I don't know how to. It's got a different sound to it that is really to the punch and like I don't know. I really it works really well with the pedal setup that I have and it's fun to play. It's just hard because I have to keep it temperature controlled because otherwise, if it gets too cold, it's going to stay cold for a long time. If it gets
Yeah.
too hot, it's going to stay hot for a long time. So you basically have to do straight to the car, straight to the club, like pull it out right away, let it breathe.
yeah, I didn't think about that. That would be a problem, I'm sure.
Yeah, and there's no getting fingerprints off it either. It's just they're everywhere.
Well, I mean, it shows that it's well loved then.
Absolutely.
So I want to talk about when I saw the reverse of the upward spiral. Of course, I thought a Nine Inch Nails the downward spiral. What made you decide to give it that name, and why the choice? I mean, it's an instrumental, so why did you come up with this whole
That
thing?
was actually Tab. He came up with that name, and I believe he referred to it as just being like you think that you're in a spot where you're going up, and then it just turns out you're actually going back down, and it's just like kind of an uphill battle, like scooping during the blizzard type thing
Yeah, we have like this saying in the band, like
or something.
always something. You know what I mean? Like we feel like sometimes we just can't get ahead. You know, it's like something's always in the way of band practice, from like the smallest occurrence like that to
Hmm.
like, you know, Craig getting a flat tire, you know, something like that, just your daily, just like what just happened, one of those.
Yeah, I used to say every time I turn around, and my late husband would say, "Quit turning around." Because it was like every time I turned around, something else happened, and he's just like, "Quit
Right.
turning around." It's like, well, yeah,
Yeah.
Yep,
yeah. Hmm.
I like that.
I like that. Yeah, that's exactly what we're
Probably
that's
steal
exactly
that.
what we're talking about.
Hmm. And his other favorite expression was "go with the flow." And then, looking back at his life, it's like he really wasn't going with the flow, but he tried to be that mantra, just go with the flow. Yeah, right. Hmm. Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That that stop turning around is kind of what I've been trying to do lately. Just kind of stick forward, look ahead, and try and focus on small victories and no stinking thinking and just I don't know, trying to not look back, just keep going forward.
I ran across an interesting thing the other day. I was talking about healing, and it was saying that you have to learn how to forgive. And I think, that's a very true statement. But I think the one hard thing that we, at least for me personally, is we don't always forgive ourselves. We'll forgive everybody else for the mistakes they've done or anything else. But when it comes to us, it's kind of like, yeah, no. And I think
Yeah.
that's one of the hard, and I think that goes back to that not looking back. It's like in order to move forward, sometimes you have to look back and kind of look at yourself and go, okay, yeah, I made a mistake here. I may have done this, and give yourself grace. But we never do that because we're not taught how to do that. We're taught to forgive everybody else, but you take responsibility.
My biggest thing lately has just been trying to realize what situations I can control and which situations are out of my control and not get too burnt out of shape about the situations that I can't control and just focus on the ones that I can.
Me
And
too.
that's the hard thing right now with what's going on and
Very
around
tough.
us.
It's a struggle every day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like every day you turn on something, you're like, really? Did
Jeez.
where am
Yeah.
I?
Are you kidding me?
Exactly.
Always something.
And I mean that's just it. I think that's the new reality. It's like you have to, and it goes back to exactly what you were saying. It's like this is something I can't control. No matter what I want to do, no matter how much I want to do, I can't control this.
I had
And
to, oh, I'm sorry.
no, go ahead.
I was just gonna say I had to stop. One of the things with this whole change and everything is I had to stop turning off the alerts that were coming in with the news and everything like that because I have to get up for work at 5 in the morning, and my wife would be sleeping, and I would just wake up and look at my phone, and there would be an alert there, and I would just go, "What the fuck?" and wake her up, and it was like, "Oh shit, I need to stop just looking at this and not worry about it, and just focus on my family and my friends."
I mean, there's it's just it's a very complicated time, and and I've talked about this before on the show about the cancer. It's like I got diagnosed with cancer and this is going on. It's like, how do you stay positive and keep moving forward when you don't know what the world's going to be like,
Right. You
a
don't know
year
what's
from
around the
now?
corner.
Yeah. So you just keep moving forward. And I
No,
think,
that's all you can do.
yeah,
Yeah.
I want to talk to you about the song Ghost. So do you believe in ghosts, or, what is this ghost of past relationships? Is this a
Um,
tab special again?
yes.
Yeah.
Yes. And then, um, I think I was hearing something in my house,
Okay.
and I felt a presence, and I jotted something down. It was in the middle of the night, and then I was like, I came back to it, and I was like, oh man, I remember that, So it was weird. It was like right here too. It was like I thought I was seeing someone right here, and I didn't feel scared.
Hmm.
Um, you know, it could have been me up too late too, you know. Right.
I've
But that's where that line came from. And then I just kind of ran with it. And this was um a song that I might have like patched things together from another idea, but they went together and it concluded my thought, So but yeah, um I didn't feel scared. So that was like the I was like I'm gonna write something down, So it was me probably being up too late down here, but
no, I'm
I can't
gonna
tell myself I didn't feel what I felt.
I've had more things happen to me than I can explain. I read cards, but my husband, before him and I got together, he was a type 1 diabetic, and he was dead asleep. He was blind as a bat. He couldn't see anything without his glasses. He woke up in the middle of the night because he felt something grab his foot. And so he opened his eyes, and at the
Oh my
foot of
goodness.
his bed, there was a guy dressed in a duster with a cowboy hat on and waking him up. His blood sugar was going low. If
Oh,
that would not have happened, he would not have woken up.
yeah.
But he could not see.
Yeah.
So, I mean, there's a lot of things that we can't explain. And I've talked to a neuroscientist about this, and I've talked to a couple of different, an astrophysicist about the fact that we are all connected and that, yes, there's different planes.
Yeah.
So don't
Yeah.
discount what you saw or what you felt.
That's the concluding line on that part on that phrase is me waking up with an asthma attack too. So there's probably that, yeah, it was about not being able to be comfortable and finally like fall back asleep,
Hmm.
after I'm awake now, So it was kind of like that. Um, and also just some things I was probably feeling at the time too. But yeah,
Well, a lot of the times when when we're kids, we see those things. So the imaginary friend is actually maybe something that we can't, that an adult can't see, because by the time we hit adulthood, we're told that all that stuff is hooey, and you can't see that stuff. It's not real. But kids are very innocent and they're very open still. So they tend to
and
see things
honest.
more than us. Yes. Yes.
Mhm.
Yes.
I believe that my son used to see something whenever I was changing him. He would just look up like right in the corner and just be giggling like crazy. And it was like someone was up there like teasing him and peekaboo and everything like that. And I could never explain it. Like he was looking dead on to someone. So that was always kind of a good feeling. It was like maybe a grandma or something's up there.
Yeah.
Usually around the age around 8 or 9 is when they start losing that. I mean, how do you explain the kids that know how to do fashion design or know about how they died from a past life? And I mean, you've seen these videos, I'm sure, on YouTube, and it's like, where did they come up with this stuff? But sometimes they carry that stuff over. It's very weird, very weird.
I've seen
Yeah.
stuff with like I'm kind of interested in it because I've got a birthmark, but it's just like a little hole. And I've heard some stuff that they say birthmarks are actually like scars from previous lives or something like that. So I always wondered if it was like a bullet hole or something like that.
A lot of the times, if you talk to people, and I've done research and stuff and work, that the fact is, if you have a birthmark, depending on where it is, it could very well be a bullet hole or a stab wound, depending on what it looks like. Usually that is something that killed you and it transfers over. So if you have that birthmark that is very
Mhm.
intentional, which I know seems crazy to some people that may be
Yeah.
listening, but that's what they are saying, that those birthmarks. And then when they've talked to kids that have those birthmarks, they usually will say how they died.
You know, the crazy thing is when I was a kid, that birthmark was like the main thing that I could see. And I was very focused on it all the time and I knew about it. And then I think about like 10 or 11, like you said, I kind of just stopped thinking about it. And then I didn't think about it again until like mid 20s. And then I was like, is that still there? Like, I wonder if I have that. And I mean, it's faint, but it's still there. And so that's, maybe there was something where I was attached to it a little better because I was a little more open.
Hmm. Like, I mean, that's the thing. There was a dream I had. I had a dream, very vivid dream about being at a World's Fair and being on a Ferris wheel, a double-decker Ferris wheel, and falling out of it. I woke up and I could tell you vividly all the details. And I was in my 40s, and I started doing research, and apparently there was a girl at the Dallas at the state fair, but that park where this happened had been a World's Fair park at one point, and she was in the Ferris wheel and she fell out of it. And
Wow.
the weird thing is, so in the dream, I didn't die right away. I hit the ground and then I died. And so I started really digging into the story, and apparently she lived for a bit and then continued on. And then I had one of my friends is a reader, and she's like, "The way your body's all janged up, you must have been in the army or something, or did something to your body because your body's just a hot mess." Well, taking a 92-foot fall off a Ferris
Sure.
wheel would do that. So, because it's like she was thinking I was in the war in a past life. So we bring that stuff over. Now, and talking to somebody else, sometimes when you have those dreams that seem so vivid, they can be from a past life. And I know this is not what you were expecting to talk about, but
That's so cool though.
I mean, I couldn't explain it when it happened. I was just like, this is too weird. And so I did a lot of research and comparing my life to her life, and yeah, it was very weird. So yeah,
That's a
but
cool connection.
hmm.
Yeah. Interesting.
So when you let's see, when you think about continuing on to, I know you've got the new music coming out. Do you consistently work on new music when you're getting together and playing? Or you're just going to take this and keep playing this for a while? Or are you going to start working on new music?
We're already starting to work on some new stuff. Tab's got some new ideas cooking, and I think Dan and I both have some stuff that we're working on. And it's definitely, these are songs that we've been playing for a long time, so they're pretty seasoned by now, and so we've definitely got plans to keep a shorter distance between our releases this next time. I think we'll probably come out with something a little sooner.
Are you more the type to release a album versus here's a single, here's another single, here's another single, here's another single?
Yeah, we did a 7 inch a couple of years ago, and I don't know. I think 7 inches are fun, but it's kind of fun to build an album and piece it together and you know get it exactly how you want it and make it kind of an adventure.
Now, one of
Definitely. There's some extra steps for making an album,
oh yeah, yeah,
and also following up with like vinyl and all that. So, but like the singles, I mean, we can play the single game, you know, we
Yeah,
can do that. It's easy to pump out singles.
I feel like you almost have to do singles a lot of times because people have such a short attention span anymore. It's hard to like get through an entire album in one sitting.
yeah. Where
Yeah.
before you used to sit down and you would listen to it and read the liner notes and
Right,
Yeah.
exactly. Take it all in.
yeah. And now everybody was like, "Oh, I want a single." Okay, I listened to that one. Now, what's next? I haven't heard you
Right,
in like a month, so you must be old news and you must not be doing anything now.
right.
Yeah. When we
No.
were doing that, you know, with even like our label mates, Sure Jr., who you interviewed,
Hmm.
they put out a single a few years ago, and then everybody's like, "Where's the album?" And they're like, "We're just gonna put out a single." Like, so I think they're gonna kind of do some of that too going forward. Just put
Yeah.
out singles, EPs, shorter kind of, you know,
I
shorter
think with the cost
records.
of production of everything, just getting vinyl pressed or like, is it worth doing CDs anymore? Or like, how much vinyl do you get? Do you want to have it like sitting in your storage room forever? Like, I don't know. It seems like it's a lot easier and more accessible to do singles. So that's the way I think a lot of people have been going recently,
Yeah.
which we've definitely done before too in some of our other bands. But I don't know. I feel like we'll either do maybe a single but probably another album.
Well, did you think vinyl would ever make a comeback?
Sure
When
glad
did
we did.
I mean, they were just like vinyl's a lost art form. Everything, but how to get rid. I still have all my vinyl from the 80s.
Yeah.
I have all of mine? I've got
Yeah. We
another.
were already yeah.
Uh,
And,
I I I listen to a record every night when we have family dinner, and then like Saturday mornings and Sunday mornings I'll get up and I've got a record cleaner and I'll have like a cup of coffee and clean my records and listen to like two or three and like go through and like patch them up and like put a little tape on them and put new sleeves on it, and it's a process I really enjoy, and I'm really, really, really happy with how our vinyl turned out because I feel like it really is like an adventure from start to finish.
Pre-order now at maxtraxrecords.com.
there you
It
go.
sounds great through my speakers. I don't know. I think it's just it's got so much depth because of Ian, the guy, our buddy that mixed it for us. He really sonically made it sound really cool, and it just fills the room with like there's guitars over here, bass over here, vocals over here, and it's just kind of like all coming at you.
Well, I guess then that's one of my questions here is, because I know what it was like when I got to hold my book for the first time. What's it like to hold your music in your hand on a record?
I came straight from work and sat there waiting for the FedEx truck to
You
get there.
ripped the box open like a raccoon.
I accepted the package and I took it inside, and then as soon as he got here, we ripped them open and admired the smoke colored vinyl and admired the packaging. The packaging is
I'll go get one.
a concept that I had when we first decided to go to the studio, and I have it written down on a piece of paper that I made a little sketch on, and I brought it to life, and it's exactly how I want it to be, just very simple and fun and still kind of dark and like, just kind of goofy, weird, not what you expect. Like, I don't know, simple.
No, I get it because I had a book signing. The Barnes by Me was closing, so I had a book signing for one of the new artist things, and my books were supposed to be here the day before the signing. Instead, they got here an hour before I was supposed to leave for the signing. And as soon as I got it, though, I was like looking at it, going, oh my gosh, I was so excited. And then,
It's
yes,
a
of course.
proud moment.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah, it was definitely to see something like that come to life, especially after so many years, like without we've this has just been a long time coming. So like to hold it and see it, and, play it, and
Nice.
it's a really proud feeling.
It's your baby. Very
Yeah,
nice. And
yep,
that's I don't think people understand that. It's like it's not the same thing as digital. It's your baby.
right.
Nice. Very well done.
Yes, we're very happy with it and very proud of how it turned out. So
Nice.
Inner sleeve with the credits.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's your man with the assless chaps.
Very nice.
And so yeah, we even got the black dust covers.
Mm-hmm. Oh,
And then there's your I don't
smoke.
know if you can see the
Yeah.
smoke color
Very
on there.
nice. It fits your whole brand.
Yeah, exactly.
Very nice.
Yeah, so it's kind
Very,
of
very
cool.
nice.
I know the pictures ha it if you've seen the images, it's like it's like transparent, kind of translucent and like gives off sort of a brownish grayish. But yeah, in person it's really cool.
there's a
It's
lot
Very
based on what
marbly.
the artist drew those cartoons.
Yeah. The other
So
side has just a
real big fellow on there. That's me.
nice.
yeah, it kind of looks like a quarter.
Mm-hmm. I mean, the thing is, vinyl is not what it used to be. I mean, now it's a little bit more showy, as yours is the smoke. But I laugh. It's because some of these records that I have, and I'm sure that you have been re-released, and I paid like $7 for my record back in the day, 7.98 or whatever. Now it's like $25. It's like nothing's changed. Well, in some
Yeah,
cases, some of it
yeah,
has been remastered, but yeah.
totally. Same. Yeah, I mean, I have like a couple Prince records and like that's like what my older cool cousin gave to me and she got that and there's like a I have some that are like a Prince record and it's like really thick vinyl and then there's another one that has like a Kmart sticker on it and it's
Hmm.
really thin and floppy, you know?
I still have my cassettes as well and my singles.
I I
He has
have
Craig has a huge collection of vinyl and cassettes and
Nice.
in his like it takes up an entire room in their house.
I
Yeah,
s-
he's a real collector.
I've got probably almost 1,000 like 80s thrash metal
wow.
tapes and other random tapes up there. It's pretty much a wall of metal, but there's a lot of country stuff in there too.
Impressive.
And
Impressive.
stuff and a lot of like 90s alternative stuff that I've held on to, and yeah, I
So,
don't know.
is there anything that we haven't discussed that you would like to add?
You can go pick this up right now
Yes.
at
And where?
Max Trax Records, MAXTRAXRECORDS.com. It's right on the homepage, right on the front page. Um, you can hear it on any we have two singles out right now. Um, we have Unsatisfied and Burn Cruise out right now on all listening platforms. You can listen to everything for free too on YouTube or Spotify. And we also have videos on YouTube for both singles. So
Are they on Bandcamp too?
everything's on Bandcamp. Our whole catalog's on Bandcamp actually too. So if you want to hear everything, we have a demo, we have a live at Oliver's, which is a cool pub in Omaha, that we did like a live set recording. And then we have our single that Craig talked about that is we put out as a 7 inch. It's like two singles. That's also on there. And then the two singles off of this. And this comes out June 13th.
And there will be a link in the bio to go to buy your record.
Awesome.
So,
It's fantastic.
I
That's
think
all you need right there. You can follow us on social media. We're on all the platforms. Leafblower music. Um, but yeah, we're gonna get back to those Tim videos. So those are really fun to keep up with too.
Well, it gives somebody something to look forward to.
Yeah.
So I thank you, Craig, and I thank you, Danny, for coming on.
Thank you so much for having us.
So Tim is quite the character, and when I was talking to Danny a little bit before the show started, they do actually use Tim. In fact, the whole band dons the mask and they will show up wearing a little bit, during the instrumentals, they will wear it because, as Danny told me, it's not the easiest thing to sing or talk in. And I remember, I think my dad had gotten us a Frankenstein mask during Halloween back in the early 70s. And that thing was hotter than anything. So I'm sure those masks are hot. And yeah, you couldn't talk. You really couldn't see. It wasn't comfortable. When I look at Halloween masks back in the day, it wasn't comfortable at all because you had those little plastic masks with the string. But that's something here in America, and it was definitely something you would never end up wearing the mask. It's like you take the mask, put it on your head, and pull it down when you wanted to get candy. But first thing I want to acknowledge is yes, I did start the podcast. I was going to wear a wig, and I decided not to because if I could get away with being all natural, today would be the day since we had Tim. And I decided, not that you're going to see me like this out in public, but I decided to shave my hair because of the cancer. And if you follow me on social media, you already knew this. But if you don't, I just felt like it was something I had to do because there was clumps of hair and bald spots, and if I was going to do this, if I was going to continue to lose hair, I might as well just shave it. Some people have said, "Oh, well, you're a warrior for that," and I'm like, "No, I'm just doing what it saves my drain. It saves my drain. It saves me from waking up with hair in my eyes, or my face, on my bed." So it was just an easier way to do it. And, I'm midway through my treatments and hopefully, I have three more after the next one I get. And hopefully at that point, I'll be cancer free and then my hair can start coming back. And it'll be a long process. So I'll be dealing with hats and scarves and wigs and da 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 for a long time. But it's worth the risk at this point. But that's not what we're going to tie up now. I want to talk a little bit about leaf blower because when we're experiencing what when we're talking about the fact that, when Craig was talking about the fact that he's just trying to keep going forward. And I think that's a hard lesson for all of us right now. It's like trying to keep going forward. What motivates us? How do we not give up? How do we keep going? And it's, when I was talking about the whole fact that you have to forgive yourself, you have to, because I think that's where a lot of us get blocked because we wish we could do something differently. We wish we would have done something differently. And you can't go back and fix it. You have to keep going forward. So you have to forgive yourself and allow yourself to be able to move forward, to be able to heal that part of yourself that's not going to keep looking at you and going back and saying, well, you should have done it differently. Well, you can't go back. I mean, even though, we could talk about multiverse, and I've thought about bringing somebody back on the show so we can talk a little bit about that. But we live in this universe. We live in this world, and it's up to us to make the best of it. And if we're constantly going over and over in our heads about how do I get past this? How do I keep going forward? You have to remember that you never know what tomorrow will bring. And that was one of those things when my mom dealing with my mom's suicide before she died, that was always something I tried to instill in her was you don't know what tomorrow's going to hold. And that's been a big lesson for me during all of this is I don't know what tomorrow's going to bring. Yes, I read cards, da 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 da. But the whole fact is sometimes being intuitive, we don't always listen to what we get because we start second guessing ourselves. Is this our ego? Is this whatever? And so you have to trust yourself and trust that things will get better. Even if something is not exactly perfect at a point, you have to keep moving forward. You have to keep pushing through. So understand that even when things don't seem like it's worth it, you never know what tomorrow will bring. And you have to keep going. Um, as far as the music, if you're really into a harder edge music, you definitely need to check them out because it's something that will get you going, and in a way that it's unexpected. You know, when you're thinking about the personal lyrics and everything, the music is not something that's gonna allow you to focus so much on those lyrics. It's one of those things where, yeah, you could get in your car and you can drive to it and just, I don't want to say put the pedal to the metal because you don't need to get a ticket, but it's kind of got that vibe to it. So yeah, definitely check Leaf Blower out. I would say check out their socials. Danny and Craig were a great interview, and I'm glad they stopped by the show. And I'd like to thank Fast Susie for the intro and outro music as always. And I'd like to thank you guys for tuning in, whether it be morning, noon, or night. I really do appreciate you listening. And well, I'll catch you next time, guys. Bye.